Hi, everybody. My name is Brent Atwater, and I'm an animal medium. And you're going, what? Well, I'm called an animal medium. And you're going, well, is that the same thing as a pet psychic? And the answer is no. Let me tell you the difference between a pet psychic and an animal medium. A pet psychic is a person who gets mental impressions. It's called telepathic communication. And when they get that mental impression from your pet, then they interpret it and give that to you. So what they do when they look at an animal is they perceive what's going on in that animal. They receive telepathic information and then they interpret that information to you. Okay? So it's about perceiving what they're telepathically getting. Okay? Now, what does an animal medium do? An animal medium receives from spirit. I happen to see and talk to spirits face to face, and you're going, well, what do you mean by that? I see Fluffy when they're on the other side. They look like cellophane, iridescent spider webs, smoke, clear, see-through fog. So a medium receives information from spirit, and because I see spirit, I see them talking face to face. And most people say, well, do they move their lips? Well, yes. And if they want to show me something, they'll take their paw and they'll go, oh, what's he doing? Well, he's pawing at you. So they show me things like looking at a picture. So I don't do this telepathically, which is why I prefer to call myself an animal medium, because I receive information from the spirit. Like you're sitting in front of me, talking and seeing me now. That's how I see spirit. So that makes me an animal medium. Now, who am I? Well, again, I'm Brent Atwater. I'm an animal medium, and I have several books. One is on animal reincarnation, and that I'm the pioneer of that. And I've been doing that for like 22 years. I pioneered the concept that yes, in fact, there is reincarnation in animals. It's only like 30 or 40% return, but that's truth. 30 or 40% do return. And then now there's a movement. Now it's 22 years later, and we've researched it and everything, and people are beginning to believe it. So my job on Earth is to shift the paradigm to let you know that Rainbow Bridge is only a poem. Now, it's a concept that was created by that poem, and a lot of people take great solace in holding on to the Rainbow Bridge. I honor that, but here's where the mistake is. Those people who hold on to Rainbow Bridge also hold on in their heart that they have to die to be with Fluffy. No, that's where the diversity begins. So, my job on Earth is to teach you that Rainbow Bridge is a poem. It's not a place. It's fictional. It's like fairy tale land. It's not real. It's not happening. And because it's a poem, it's created a concept. And that concept is a pet is happy on the other side. But the other concept that it created was you got to die to be with your pet. Well, I'm here to tell you that's wrong. You don't. If you open your mind and you allow, and that's the key word, you allow the speed bump of your mind to go over the belief of Fluffy's dead and I'm not going to see him till I'm dead. The speed bump that's been set in your mind by this poem or by the people around you who've said, oh, it's just a dog, he's dead. It's not dead and done, all right? It's a belief that you have in your mind. So here's what you do. You got to go over the speed bump. And once you get over that speed bump, then you realize that energy never dies because everything's energy, okay? Energy never dies. It just changes forms. So when your pet transitions, and that's the correct word that we want you to use, death is not dead and done. Because energy never dies, the energy that lives in your pet's body, i.e. Fluffy's body, it's like discarding a coat when they leave the body. And then that energy transitions, and that's the right word, it transitions from the body to the other side of energy. That's all there is. Now, some of you call it heaven, some of it call you the source, some of it call it whatever, Rainbow Bridge, but what it is where all energy gathers after it leaves a tactile and tangible earth body, okay? Now, so when your pet sheds that earth body, and that's what it does, it becomes a living energy spirit. So when you talk about a soul, an animal soul is what is on earth, because when the energy lives inside a body, it's called a soul. when it transitions out of, and I want you, instead of saying he died, I euthanized him, he passed on. The real word is he transitioned out of his fursuit and became living spirit energy. Now, that's where my talk comes in today. I'm talking about living spirit energy. Now, you're saying, well, who are you to talk about that? Well, once again, I've been doing this for 22 plus years. I have a book called After Death Signs, and it teaches you how to connect and communicate and talk and continue your never-ending love with your pet. So, After Death Signs is on Amazon.com. I also have a YouTube station. We've got over 410 plus, almost 500 videos on questions and answers about animal life after death. So Barney today, God bless Barney, has asked me to be a part of this wellness summit. And now that I've told you who I am and where you can find me, we also have a Facebook group that you can talk about everything you learned today. So the job for me is I'm talking about animal spirits. And we're going to talk about it in 3 sections. One is signs from heaven. The second is after death communication. And the third one is after death connection. So you can do 3 things with your pet that transitioned. See? And that's what I hope to teach you today. All right. Now, here's the first premise. This is a test. Is there a rainbow bridge? Yes or no? Nope. It's a concept. It's a poem. There is no rainbow bridge. And for those that are leaving right now, I'm sorry, because there's so much more to afterlife than just I'll meet you till I'm dead. All right? Now, the second premise is energy. Everything's energy. Look at those trees out there. That's energy. That water, energy. This chair, energy. I'm living energy. So what do you call me on earth? A soul. Because I'm living in an earth body. So if energy's living in an earth body, it has a soul. And that's why all animals have souls. All living beings have souls. Now, when they discard the earth body, they transition, which means slips out of the earth body and transitions into living energy on the other side. Test. What's that living energy on the other side called? Spirit. It's called living spirit. Now, a lot of people with pets sort of get displaced at that point in time. They think Fluffy's in heaven and I'll never be able to see him or communicate with him or connect with him because he's in heaven. Well, we got a problem with that. Fluffy's right there with you. If you open your heart, you can have signs from them. That's the first level of connection. You can say to them, Fluffy, send me some signs to let me know you're okay. And what they do, they'll send you feathers and ladybugs and cardinals and birds and heart-shaped rocks and all sorts of things. And people go, I don't think that was a sign. How do I know it's a sign? Here's what you need to ask yourself. How many times has that happened before? Most people go, well, it's never happened before. Till after he transitioned, you think. So, if you ask Fluffy for a sign and you get things like a song on the radio that's your song, or you look up and you see billboards that have their name on it, do you know what the number 1 sign of a pet returning is? You crying all the time. And you're going, what? Well, when an energy comes near you, all energy recognizes energy. So my body goes, there's something out there. Now, because it's heart energy, my heart can feel it. And that sets my heart. It's like their tail wagging or them purring in my heart. And it makes me cry if they've just transitioned. So a lot of times crying lets you know that the spirit is near you because they've touched your heart, you're thinking about them, and you're crying. So crying is really the number 1 sign to let you know that they're near. Now, it's not a negative crying. It's a positive crying. There's a negative crying that's like, I lost Fluffy. I'll never be with anybody else. I just can't do anything. That's negative crying. Positive crying is, I remember Christmas when he tipped over the tree, and it was the most fun thing ever because we all sat on the floor and laughed. That's positive crying about Fluffy being on the other side. Do you know what the number 2 sign is? The number 2 sign is a rainbow in the sky. And you're going, you just said Rainbow Bridge is a poem. Right. But do you know what a lot of pets do? When they cross to the other side, they send you a rainbow as a sign to let you know, hey, Mom, I'm not there. I'm alive and well. So it's not a sign from Fluffy going, hey, I'm at this poem. I'm at this poem. It's like, Mom, I'm alive and well. It's just a poem. Let's continue our never-ending love. Okay? So the first method is signs. And that's the lightweight entry into engaging with spirit. The second level is after-death communication. Now, a lot of people go to animal communicators. Did you know that most people go to 4 or 5 animal communicators before they ever get all the knowledge they want? And everybody has something to contribute. Do, though, choose people that are reputable, because a lot of people, they'll tell you what you want to hear, and you don't want to deal with that. Yes, I do readings, because it was interesting. Last year I did a summit and somebody said, do you do readings? Well, yeah, that's how I pay for my dog's food. But anyway, so you can have communication with your pet, but you don't have to have an animal communicator. You can learn to ask Fluffy to talk to you by himself. The way you do it, and people say, I don't talking to spirits. That's not a good thing. My mama taught me that talking to spirits is evil. No, it's not evil. When you have a heart connection, you're going on the thread heart to heart. And when they're sitting with God and heaven and the universe, you're going on that thread there. It's not about bringing in all the evil. You're working from this heart connection to the Fluffy's heart connection that's now living spirit. So don't worry about being evil. We do have a protection prayer that we do say, and you go, well, if it's not evil, why do you say that? I believe that anytime you communicate with the other side, you should always take precaution, simply because there are a lot of things on the other side that are energies that you don't want to be around you. So I have a protection prayer. It's on my YouTube. It's in my book that will tell you, I ask and is my intent to surround myself in a seamless mirrored cocoon of the Christ white light to protect me now, forevermore, and always, so be it, it's done. And that way you are covered to be able to talk to Fluffy. Now, the next thing you want to do is be specific. And you go, what? Yeah, you don't say, hey, man, talk to me. Fluffy's going, what? When? Now, one of the things that people do when they ask for signs, because I want to teach you ask, is, well, I didn't get one right now. Usually ask within a 3-day window or a 72-hour window. That's 3 days too. But the reason you do this is because Spirit's in charge. They can answer you any way they want to. And I've heard people say, well, I see Fluffy all the time in my dreams, but he never sends me a sign. There are people who get feathers and see birds and ladybugs and all that stuff all the time, but they don't get dreams. So what you need to know is this: your pet, your living spirit pet, is in charge of the signs they send you, because they know you best and they know what you'll respond to best. Okay? So if you respond to dreams best, they're going to visit you in dreams. If you respond to, flowers and a swirl of wind, or ice cream with their name on it, or a song from a radio that you used to sing to them at night, then they're going to respond to you that way. And when they do that, I take the time to say, thank you. Come on down some more. Thank you. I appreciate it. And somebody goes, well, they've been gone so long, those signs have disappeared. Signs will never disappear as long as you continue your never-ending love. They may get less frequent because when you are immediately involved, they're going to be right there to help you get through it. But as you become less involved, or maybe adopt a new pet, which doesn't make them feel bad at all, they'll ask them to help you pick that pet, then they're happy for you. So communication can be with an animal communicator. You can talk heart to heart with your spirit. And how do you hear them? You hear them in your head. You feel them in your heart. Now, there are ways you can specifically ask questions and get answers. Again, we address all that in my literature. So you can say, I'd like to have the answer to this question in my dream, and you may take 2 or 3 nights of dreams to get it. You can ask them to come see you in dreams, because dreams is considered a second-level connection, okay? Signs first are things out there, like radio songs and their name in a book, or you see a piece of paper, or somebody yells out their name, or there are things like that, a rainbow, that are level 1. Level 2 are dreams and you connecting and communicating with them. Another level 2 is you feeling them. And that is sort of like, ooh, I think they're near. And that's feeling them without anything going on. You can hear them, you can smell them. Like I've heard people say, ooh, I can smell my grandfather's pipe. I have a lady that helps me, and her husband used to smoke, and every evening she feels like she can smell cigarettes around her because it's her husband coming in to say goodnight to her before she goes to sleep. So that's another level. Now, the other thing is after-death connection. And this is my most favorite thing because it makes you really realize that this is real. And we teach you, you can put your hand out, you say your protection prayer, put your hand out and say, Fluffy, I'd like you to put your paw in my hand now. And it feels fat or like heavy air or tingling or something like that. And you can sense that they're there. Once you get your hand, and you can acclimate your hand by doing this first. Take your hand and do like this, and it activates all the nerves. And then you ask them to put their paw in the hand that you write with, okay? And you can feel it. And don't let it scare you. Say your protection prayer first, and when you do it, say specifically, Fluffy, I want you to do this, because you can ask pets that have been gone 10 years, 20 years, hey, Beauregard, touch your hoof to my hand now. Or, Skittles, why don't you take your nose and put your hand now? So if it's in an eternity, no matter how long the pet's been gone, you can still ask the pet to touch you and connect with you via put your paw in my right hand now, put your paw in my right hand now, and then rest. And it normally takes about 2 weeks to do this. People who are sensitive to this can feel lots of times a cat jump up on their lap, or you can feel them jump up on the bed and lay down beside you at night, and you can feel their energy up next to yours, because energy recognizes energy. And what you want to do, if you feel that, say, whoo, Beauregard, is that you? And Beauregard, you can just know, you'll have that warm sense inside yourself that it is. So when we look at all of this, what you're looking at is the fact that you can connect with. And you say, well, why would I want to do that? Connection with spirit is what is it's sort of like once you've ever experienced it, you don't go back. It's like a knowing that you just, you never give it up, you know? Because somebody said to me, oh, I felt Fluffy in my hand. I could touch him. And that's when you realize that spirits are real, and it changes your whole paradigm about death. It doesn't make you afraid of it anymore. You understand that it's just between here and there. I mean, it's just that close away, and it is that tactile. Now, a lot of times, you might see them out of the corner of your eye, and it's like a little flash over here or sparkle over here, but sometimes you can't see a complete vision. Those who can see that are very blessed, because not everyone can do that in this incarnation. Almost everyone can feel them. Most everyone can get signs. And most people can talk to them. So 99% of everybody can get a sign, and 99% of everybody can communicate with them, either through an animal communicator, but rarely from their own heart. And if you do it on an ongoing basis, thank them for being there, because they're taking the time to be there, and they'll stay there and be with you throughout your life, so you can continue your never-ending love, and you can engage them. They'll help you pick out a boyfriend. They'll help you pick out a new pet. They'll help you train your new pet. So all of this is involvement with spirit on the other side. The connection part is when you call on demand and have them put their paw in your hand. When you on demand, come and let me see you now. That's on demand. You can say, I want to dream about you tonight, and I want you to answer this question. And they will. Because they like being a part of your life. They don't want you to set them aside and let you think you got to wait until you die to be with them. Because where it is, you're with them in a different form. You're just on a different journey. So with that different journey, you have to accelerate it, accept it, believe in it, and understand that it's not evil, because you're working on the thread from your heart. Okay? Now, if we can help in any way, we'd love to do so. And I want you to know that dead is not done. That Rainbow Bridge is a poem that created a concept. And that concept is what causes a lot of damage and a lot of ongoing tears that are unnecessary. You can connect with your pet that has deceased its body, but has moved into living energy. So this finale is, 1, Rainbow Bridge is a poem. 2, it created a concept. 3, the concept of dead and done is not true. There is afterlife. Afterlife exists because energy only changes forms. Okay? Think about that. If you take water and you boil it, You get steam. You take steam and you freeze it, you get ice. You get ice and you melt it, you get water. Well, that's the same process with the energy. This is the body that it discards. It transits out of it. It becomes energy on the other side. So with the energy on the side, with that, they can send you forms. The forms they send you are signs. Okay? So that's the way you can connect with them and continue. The second thing is they can communicate with you. You hear them in your heart, you hear them in the head, and it sounds just like a voice. It doesn't sound like Alvin the Chipmunk, and it doesn't sound really strange. It just sounds like we're talking, but you know, because your heart is filtering it, that it's them. And number 3, the other level, is connection. And that's when on demand you can ask them to come visit with you, and you can ask them to be with you, and you can ask them to guide your life, and you can ask to touch, see, and feel them. And that's the 3rd level of connection. And once you've experienced all those, you will know that as an animal medium, what I see and talk to every day is real. And then you won't have to worry and cry about when am I going to die to be with them. You can enjoy them the nanosecond that they get out of their body and become living spirit. And that is the joy of afterlife, because afterlife is only afterlife when you discard the earth fursuit. And it's the beginning of a new life with the other side. Thanks for listening today. Again, my name is Brent Atwater. I'm an animal medium because I see and talk to spirits on the other side, face to face. And check out my YouTube videos. I have a radio show called Alive Again. I have a group that you're welcome to come and ask questions in on Facebook called Animal Life After Death, and you're more than welcome to share your signs over there. And our job is to help you understand that afterlife is real. And we thank Barney for allowing all of this. So have a great day. See you soon. Bye, bye, bye.